So I've hit a lot of ballparks up. We used to go to a trip. We go to a different ballpark every summer, go there, for a ball game, check out the city, do it all. Well, then my buddies decided that instead of just doing a ballpark, they wanted to do a college football game, a baseball game Friday, college football game Saturday, and an NFL game on Sunday. Well, I'm not really allowed to take off in the heart of football season, so I kind of got knocked off that trip. But somebody who was bringing that trip back, kind of, sort of, maybe, is Suzie Hunter. Check out her website, thesuziehunter.com. She is going on an MLB road trip. And I saw this on Twitter. Basically, people were retweeting her left and right. She was dancing away at Citizens Bank Park at a recent game. Now that fans are back in the stands, it seemed that she was there. And now she's going to be going to all the different ballparks. Philly, she's been to Philly, the 2 New Yorks, and I believe Boston. So she's here to tell us more about her trip around the ballpark heaven. This is a trip that, man, I would love to be a part of here, Suzie. How you doing?
Hey, Mike, thank you so much for having me on.
Yeah, this is great. So tell us a little bit first. You're doing something with the Boys and Girls Clubs of America with this. You're going to be going to every single ballpark this summer. So you'll be from East Coast all the way. Are you driving across the country doing this?
Oh, yeah, I am driving. It's going to be a lot. I've been, kind of trying to prepare myself for it, but I will be raising money for the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. I absolutely love what they do. I've gotten to work with them so much, so I'm really excited. My goal is $30,000, $1,000 for every ballpark. Let's go. All
right, so people can go to thesuziehunter.com, and you can. There's a link to donate, and you can check out what she's doing. So how did this come up? How did you kind of get tabbed to do this? Did you come up with this yourself, or you're like, hey, I want to do every single ballpark? Kind of take us through how this all came about, because I used to do the whole ballpark trip. I've been to probably, I don't want to say half, but about 40% of the ballparks. We used to just do it, hey, let's go to a different ballpark this year. And we'd have a vote. All right, everybody had a vote. Where do you want to go next year? We want to go here, there. All right, this was the one that won, and that's where we end up going. So how did this kind of come about?
It's something I've always wanted to do. I'm a huge baseball fan. I love to travel, and I've always wanted to just do it all in one season. And I left my TV reporting job. I wanted a little break. I don't know if you saw what it's like to be a reporter during the pandemic, but it's a little intense. I wanted a little time. So I thought it could be a great chance to have a summer to do this ever again. So I just had to try it.
So where did you start? Where was the first ballpark that you hit?
Had to be Philly because I was home, so I went to a Phillies game. It was Zach Wheeler's complete game. Was my first MLB game in more than 500 days, so it was so great to be back. And then I went up to Boston, and then I was just in New York the past few days. So that in itself was wild because yesterday was a double header with the Mets and Yankees. It was pretty intense.
So, all right, let's start with the Philly. So most people in our listening audience have been to a Phillies game, but what is your, favorite part about that particular ballpark?
It feels like home more than anything. I've spent a lot of time at, different stadiums, so that just feels very much like home. The food's great too. I love a park with good food. I always get my Federal Donuts chicken sandwich. I just love it.
Right. Now, in your at the Suzie Hunter on Twitter, it says reporter, ballpark food expert is one of the things that you are. Is that self-noted, or have you been tabbed as a ballpark food expert?
I am so an expert. My best friend Amanda and I actually do a food blog where we rate stadium food. So we do that here and there. Amanda actually has a job, so, we're not going to do that all summer, but we're going to do a couple of those over the course of the summer. But yeah, we we rate food. I like to think that we're an authority on the topic.
Now, all right, take us to Boston now. So, because I told you off the air, I have been to a bunch of ballparks. I have never been to Fenway Park. I went in 1994, and they were on strike. Now, I was 12 years old at the time, but they're on strike that year, so I never actually ended up going to a game at Fenway Park. So give us the lowdown for the people out there who have never been to Fenway, the uniqueness, and what did you like about that park the most?
Oh, my gosh. So I actually used to work at a Fenway sports bar for 3 baseball seasons, so I've spent a lot of time at Fenway. And the history and just the feel of that is not something you're going to see anywhere else. It is so much smaller than, the parks that we're used to across the rest of baseball. But it's so special. There's so much history. For me, it's very personal, too, because my grandfather grew up right outside of Boston, grew up a Red Sox fan. He was the biggest baseball influence in my life. So it's very sentimental for me, too, to just, like, be able to be at a park that he was at when he was a kid. Like, and that's so rare. And yeah, Boston fans are also just nuts, so that's entertaining in general.
What is the like the ballpark fare at Fenway Park that you've got to get?
You know, well, they don't have all the food that they normally have right now because the pandemic, it's in limited capacity. So I kind of had trouble finding like the food that I wanted to eat there, but I've had lobster poutine there in the past. That was really good.
All right. So yesterday, so what now? You said you went to 2 doubleheaders or they played a doubleheader?
Yeah. No, there were 2 doubleheaders. So this hasn't happened in New York for like, more than 10 years. But the Mets game got rained out on Wednesday, so the Yankees game, I needed to get to a Yankees game for my checklist. So I started off with the Mets, though, because I was like, oh, I've got the time. So, yeah, I went to a Mets game. That was a doubleheader, and then made it in time to catch a little bit of both Yankees games yesterday. It's something I probably will never be able to accomplish again.
So which one did you go to first?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Which one did you go to first, the Mets or the Yankees?
Mets.
So you
Mets first, because Mets started earlier, so I had to go to Mets first.
So you sat through both of the Mets games.
Mm-hmm.
And
oh, yeah.
So that's at Citi Field, another stadium that I have not been to. Now, I have heard that it's just kind of meh there. What did you think?
Oh, no. Citi Field's actually awesome. There was just, it actually is, it's beautiful. It's got a lot of personality. Yeah, it's full of Mets fans, but there's a lot of great food. It's, I love it. I highly recommend it. I don't know who told you that it's meh. It's like very far from meh.
Now, I was at Shea Stadium. So when we did the whole New York thing, we went to Shea, which obviously is not there anymore. So I have not been to Citi, but I didn't seem all that excited about it. You're telling me I should go check that out then.
You absolutely have to. I think you'll love it.
All right. So then you watch 2 games at Citi, and then what do you do? Subway? And I guess I don't know what the subway situation is right now with the whole pandemic. How'd you get from Citi over to Yankee?
Subways are up and running. They're up and running, but just because of the time crunch, we Ubered, which was just horrendous anyway. The traffic option, but yeah, just Uber over and then made it to Yankee Stadium, some Benihana. That was the food that I ate, a little hibachi at the game. It was fun.
So, all right, so the new Yankee Stadium I've been there one time. That place is like this. It's almost like walking around a shopping mall. The place is gigantic. They got like a sushi counter over there. I mean, that place is pretty. Now, were you at have you ever been to Old Yankee?
I never went to Old Yankee Stadium. No, never made it.
Yeah, well, I think if you talk to the New Yorkers, like the new one just doesn't compare to the that feel. It's kind of like when you go into Wrigley. Fenway. I'm imagining. So you go to Yankee. So there are the 4 that you've been to so far: Boston, New York, New York. Now, are they the only 4 that you've ever been to? Period, or you've been to other ones and you're just adding them to the list to do again?
No, I've been to other ballparks, but I just really wanted to. Yeah, I've just been to 4 this season so far. So
right.
It's fun. Like every stadium that I'm going to this year, I'm buying a ball and like writing the date on it and like the number ballpark this is for me this season. It's cute.
Now, the video of you dancing at the Phillies game, did you know you were on video or did you just happen to be on television?
I had no idea. So I will dance to everyone's walk-up song. Like I was just vibing. I was having fun. I was there with my family. And then all of a sudden I started getting texts and they were like, Suzie, I just saw you on TV. And I was like, I was really trying to get on like the big screen at some point. It never happened. But I'm like, okay, this is actually my first time making it on a Phillies broadcast. And kind of like a huge deal for me.
Yeah, it was that thing was everywhere. And then I started reading more about this, and then I saw that you're doing this trip around and vlogging the whole thing, raising money for the Boys and Girls Club. And I said, well, it's for a good cause. We should talk to her. So where are you headed next? Kind of give us the road map for Suzie this summer.
Oh, it's quite a map. So actually, I'm on my way to D.C. right now, but I the weather does not look like it'll be in my favor. So if that is the case, I'm going to have to come back to D.C. at some point. I do have a little bit of wiggle room. But D.C., Baltimore next week. I'm going to go to Buffalo for the Blue Jays. I'm going to count that as
now, hold on a second with that one.
Yeah.
Did you think about catching them when they were in Dunedin and instead?
I couldn't make it down there because I had too many weddings to go to this month. So I wanted to go to Dunedin actually, but I couldn't swing it. We have all these weddings this year.
Gotcha.
All
It's
the
wedding
weddings from
season.
last year this year.
I got you. Because Dunedin's a great town to go. If you're going to check them out. So then you're going to Buffalo, then where?
And then Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's a great ballpark.
And I've actually never been there either, which I just hear great things about it. So
It is tremendous.
I'm definitely most excited.
When they first opened, they had an Outback in the outfield. That was the name. It was called Outback in the outfield. It was the Outback Steakhouse. It was in left field right out there. They don't have that anymore. I don't know what's in the spot there, but that ballpark is tremendous.
All right, well, I'll let you know what's out there, okay?
I want all the details of the new I guess it's still PNC Park. All right, Buffalo, Pittsburgh, then?
All right, and then I'm heading south. I'm going to Atlanta, then I'm doing Miami and Tampa, and then I have to go to Houston, then Arlington, and then I'm going to make it to Denver before the All-Star game.
All right, nice. Now, I was at it's so weird because Texas used to play at wherever, and then they moved into the ballpark at Arlington. They're already out of that place.
Yeah, they have a brand new park.
Right. When I went, that one was new, and that was probably 10 years ago, and that place only lasted about 10, 15 years before they already built a new place. So that place is pretty cool, though. Arlington's a nice little town. You'll have fun there.
Yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to it.
And then, so you're at Denver. Now, are you going back to the Midwest, like Cleveland, up that way?
Yep. So, yeah, after the All-Star break, I will head to Minnesota. The way I have to do the Midwest, the way the schedule's worked out is, like, not a nice clear line. Like, you would want to do Minnesota, then, Detroit. And then, there's an order of things that you would like to go in, and it does not work. I have to zigzag all across. And I have to go to Chicago twice because the White Sox and the Cubs aren't in town at the same time when I'm going to be over there. They're only in town at the same time, I think, once.
Go to the Cubby Bear. Do yourself a favor. Go to the Cubby Bear.
The Cubby Bear, okay.
There you go.
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, Cubby Bear. Well, it's literally Wrigley Field, the front entrance across the street, like on the corner, is the Cubby Bear. You could walk right off the corner and right into the ballpark. Boom. And I'll tell you, Cellular One Park, I don't know if it's still called that anymore. I doubt it. But the White Sox place, very underrated. It doesn't get enough acclaim because it was built before all these newer looking old, the ones that kind of look like, they're old. But it's a pretty cool stadium I don't know what it's called anymore, but the White Sox place. And then Milwaukee, which I don't think you said you're going to yet, but Milwaukee was really cool. Milwaukee was really cool.
Yeah. Okay. See, these are the tips that I need. I need this advice.
Yes, that there. Where else? So you went to Arlington. We went to a place in Arlington. Man, what was the name of that place? I can't remember. But Arlington's was a very cool town. So then you're going from Minnesota, which I was at for the Super Bowl, and then I guess you're heading out west.
As was I. Yeah, I've not been back to Minnesota since the greatest day of my life. So yeah, I'm going to do all the Midwest teams, and then I guess I will end up driving through Denver again. But then, after I'm leaving Kansas City, I will drive all the way to Seattle. It's like a 20-hour drive. I think it's insanely long. But then I'm going to go all the way down the West Coast.
Gotcha. Well, that sounds awesome. Check out her MLB road trip. TheSuzieHunter.com, and there's a link there that you can donate for the Boys and Girls Club. She's vlogging the whole thing, and this is pretty cool. So we'll have to keep kind of following what you're doing. Maybe we'll check in with you somewhere out in the Midwest.
Oh, yeah, please do, and thank you so much for having me on. It was so great to talk to you.
Absolutely. Well, Suzie, safe travels, and we'll be paying attention.
All right, thank you.
All right, Suzie Hunter. Her website is TheSuzieHunter.com. She's doing a Major League Baseball road trip for charity. She's raising money, and you can go to her website, TheSuzieHunter.com. I'm Mike Gill. This is the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN.